Welcome to part 3 of the NavTech video series. In this video I'll show you how to set up the incoming server. The first step for setting up the incoming server is installing NavTech. First we'll install the tools and download the source for NavTech. After that we will edit the configuration file. This has to be done very carefully, so I'll show you step by step how to do it. After editing the configuration file, we will run the incoming setup scripts. The last thing that will be shown in this video is building NavTech and installing a server that's called Forever. It keeps your server running. In this video I just show you step by step what is written in the guide. I recommend to keep the guide open at all times so you can just copy all the commands easily and use them and follow that step by step. This video is just to help you through it and show you how it's exactly done, but the guide is exactly the same. The first thing we'll do before installing NavTech is installing updates. When your server is done updating, it's time to install the required tools for NavTech. Just copy all the commands from the guide and paste them into the command line. I really recommend to copy the commands. It makes sure that you don't make any mistakes in the commands, which is very important to install the service correctly. After the tools are installed, you can clone NavTech onto your server. Now it's time to configure the default.json file. This file might look a little bit complex, but I'll take you through it step by step. First, go into the right directory. This is navtech/config. From there, we will insert the default file that will enable you to easily edit it. After that, we'll go into the file and edit it step by step. First, under global, edit the IP address. This IP address is used when your server is in maintenance mode. It prevents other IP addresses from using your server. You can toggle maintenance mode by either placing false or true behind it, false being out of maintenance mode and there's access for everyone to the server. Under incoming, you see 3 IP addresses. The first one, under local, is the IP address of your incoming server, so the server that you're currently in. Enter the IP address of this server there. Under remote, you see 2 IP addresses. Those are for outgoing servers. If you have a server cluster with more than 1 outgoing server, place them there. If you have only 1 outgoing server, as I do in this video, remove the other one, remove the second IP address, and only change the first one into the IP address of your outgoing server. After that you can change min amount, max amount and NAV %. Min amount is the minimal amount of NavCoin your server will accept. For max amount you can set anything. This is the maximum amount of NavCoin someone can send in one transaction through your NavTech server cluster. You have to keep in mind that the NAV pool also has to be able to process this. The NAV % is the percentage of NavCoin that you ask as a fee for people to use your server. By default it's on 0.5% and the server cluster from the core team also use 0.5%. The higher the percentage, the more NavCoin you'll earn from transactions, but if you put it too high, people might not use it at all. For notification email, you can enter your own email address with the SMTP details. I say you can use it because I personally don't use it. I use an uptime robot to keep track of my servers and see if they are up or down or whatever happens to them. It's up to you to use it or not. Under NavCoin and Subchain, you have to enter the RPC username and the RPC password and the password for your wallet. For the salt, you can use a random string generator. The string has to be 32 characters long. In this example, I use it to generate 2 strings of 16 characters. I do always change a few characters in it because it's online generated, so you never know who's looking with you. Just copy and paste it into the default.json file. There is one thing we cannot change yet, and that's the secret. The secret is generated later in the process, and we will come back to this file to edit it later on. So now just save the file and close it. After editing the default.json file, it is time to run the incoming setup scripts. Make sure that you're in the NavTech folder. From the NavTech folder, run all the commands in there. The command sudo npm run will give a lot of output. An RSA key pair will be generated and 1,000 incoming account addresses. Once that's done, you should see success, everything is configured. Also, it should show a generated secret. This is the secret I talked earlier about, and we'll have to copy that and put it into the default.json file. Copy the secret and go to the folder navtech/config. From there, open and edit the default.json file. Scroll down in the file and go to secret. Paste the secret that was just generated and save the file. It is time to build NavTech. Go to the NavTech folder and run the command sudo npm run build. I recommend to install a service called Forever. Forever will manage the NavTech servers for you. Simply install Forever, start Forever, and check the logs. If the log gives an output, you know Forever was installed successfully. In the log you'll see a lot of output, which is completely normal. It says that there's no unspent in the holding account, and it says that it cannot contact any outgoing server, which also makes sense because you didn't set up any yet. This is all okay and we can just skip this. So, now the incoming server is set up and it's time to set up the outgoing server. In the next video I'll show you how to set up the outgoing server. I'll skip the first part because it's the same as this server, and I will start from where you install NavTech.